China insists that Taiwan is part of its territory. Taiwan says, no, it's not, it's independent. Earlier, it was mostly the US that was backing Taiwan until the Biden administration. But as soon as the regime changed, meaning Trump arrived, everything changed, of course. But now, Taiwan has a new player that's backing its claim. It's not Australia, it's Tokyo. Diplomats have exchanged harsh words, netizens have exchanged sushi jokes. But now things have escalated far beyond rhetoric. China is mobilizing warships in the region. Japan is deploying advanced missiles just 110 kilometers from Taiwan's shores. Meanwhile, China is hitting back with economic pressure. Hundreds and thousands of Chinese tourists have already cancelled their trip to Japan. Japanese films have disappeared from Chinese cinemas. Trade retaliation is accelerating. Military drills are intensifying. And right at the center of this storm is Taiwan. The world is watching one of Asia's most volatile flashpoints heat up. But to understand why Japan's reaction is so fierce, why this crisis feels personal, you have to go back over a century. In 1895, after defeating the Qing dynasty in the First Sino-Japanese War, Japan seized Taiwan. For 50 years, Japan ruled the island with a mix of authoritarian control and ambitious modernization. Tokyo built railways, ports, schools, hospitals, and redesigned Taipei's cityscape. Many of the buildings are still standing today. Japanese administrators industrialized agriculture, expanded the sugar and timber industries, and turned Taiwan into a profitable asset for the empire. But development came with suppression. Taiwanese language and culture were restricted. The Kominka program pushed forced assimilation. The era left scars, but also left infrastructure, institutions, and a generation raised in Japanese-style governance. Japan's defeat in 1945 ended colonial rule. Taiwan was handed to the Republic of China. But here history becomes complicated. The post-war treaties never specified who legally inherited Taiwan. Japan renounced it, but sovereignty wasn't formally assigned, an ambiguity that still shapes East Asia. Japan maintained its tie with Taiwan until 1972, when it recognized the People's Republic of China and severed official relations with Taipei. But the break was never total. Japan built an intricate system of unofficial ties. When Taiwan democratized in the 1990s, the relationship deepened. In 2011, Tohoku earthquake cemented the connection. Taiwan donated more aid per capita than any nation. What had once been pragmatic cooperation had become genuine affinity, shared values, shared democratic identity, and shared vulnerability. This 130-year story explains why Japan's current stance in Taiwan is so charged. When Prime Minister Takeshi said a Chinese attack on Taiwan would be a threat to Japan itself, she wasn't improvising. She was reflecting geography, history, economics, and democracy-to-democracy bond decades in making. Beijing sees Japan as abandoning its 1972 commitments. Tokyo sees itself defending its future. The irony is stark. Japan and Taiwan were bound for 50 years by colonial rule, for another 50 by unofficial partnership. Now both face a world where that arrangement may not survive. Chinese growing military assertiveness is pushing Japan into a role it can no longer avoid. What began as history may now reshape history.